Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today's episode of NurseCast, we are actually going to be discussing a very unfortunate event. Now, granted, I understand that a number of my episodes are discussing pretty unfortunate and rather outrageous events. This specifically is pretty sad. If you watched one of my previous episodes where I discussed a nurse acting out in a very racist manner towards African American babies, deliberately causing harm to them, it will be something along those lines, just as a heads up. And now, before I go any further, I do want to encourage everybody to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the share so that we can get the views up. Thank you so much for those of you who have been doing that. That all being said, today we are going to discuss the loss of a newborn baby's life due to what appears to be the neglect of a hospital. Now, I'm going to allow you guys to see a little clip of what was being discussed, but as far as legalities and specifics go, I'm not a part of the investigation of this case. I am a nurse, and I am just depositing my expertise and my experience in the event that something like this would have happened to me. This is what I would have concluded. These are the assumptions that I am making based on my experience. So, what appears to be two main issues in this particular case is that, one, a number of burns, according to, I believe her name is Jelana Henderson, the mother of the past child, a number of burns were found on the baby's body. And they were unexplained. And I don't believe that she got any answers when she asked questions. And again, I am going to allow you guys to see a quick clip throughout the video, but I'm thoroughly confused because when I did work in postpartum, we were very specific. We were very detailed in what we were looking for when we were assessing the babies. Even as a CNA, whenever I reported anything back to the nurse, and at the specific hospital that I was working at, the nurse was responsible for the mother and the baby. At some hospitals, the nurse would either be responsible for the mother or the baby. So it would either be a well baby nurse or a postpartum nurse. It's not the same everywhere you go. Either way, even as a CNA working on a postpartum unit, I was responsible for so much because I was held at a higher standard. I was expected to give detailed reports of whatever it is the mom would tell me, the dad would tell me, whatever it is I'd see when I'm getting vital signs. We all had to work together because we know that these family members are depending on us. This is either a brand new experience for some just had miscarriages, some have had multiple children, but still, you do not tread lightly when it comes to a newborn baby. You tread with purpose. I hope that makes sense. So, I'm saying all of this to say that I do feel that some neglect took place. And in some cases, when I hear certain things take place, I put myself in that situation. And I'm like, in this particular situation, what would I have done? And sometimes I would have done a lot of what these healthcare professionals did themselves. And a lot of the people that are responding to the situation, they don't know. They're unable to relate because they don't work in healthcare. So they're just full of opinion, no fact, no relatability. But in this particular case, I just feel like there are too many questions left unanswered, and it's just not sitting right with me. So let's just take a quick look.
Gave birth to a healthy baby girl.
And I'm like, why is her face burnt?
And they burned her face at the hospital.
It was like a scary movie, literally, like a live scary movie.
Doctors first insisted something was wrong with the baby. She was passed around at 2 different Philadelphia hospitals until...
Now, in that clip, it was repeated that a number of burns were found on the patient's body. But at no point during that clip was an explanation offered for the burns. I do not believe that there is a single parent that would feel comfortable with finding certain things on their newborn baby's body that they did not see before and ultimately end up being okay without getting an explanation. So I want to know, what exactly were the specific exchanges between, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, the mother, Jaylana, and the healthcare professionals, the staff, the nurses, the doctors. Was this baby supposed to be a NICU baby? Was this some sort of disease? And I don't want to just start throwing names out there because there are so many that wasn't thoroughly explained to the mother. Was it something that wasn't fully understood by the healthcare staff and they were trying to figure it out and they didn't figure it out soon enough? It just doesn't make any sense. As I said before, in my experience, it is outrageously important to offer an abundance of explanation. And when I say explanation, I mean, listen, I'm coming in here to do an assessment. I'm taking baby to go do XYZ. This is why we have to do this. This is what we're doing this for. Do we have your permission to do XYZ? Now, when it comes to permission, it's a little sad that I have to explain this, but you cannot do anything to any human being under the age of 18 without the permission of the parent. I don't care if they are 17 and 11 months, much less a newborn baby. So I'm saying all of that to say that apparently this baby, Jaylani, I believe her name was given a large amount of narcotics, ultimately resulting in the baby's passing. In the video, the mother is obviously demanding justice. She's obviously demanding an explanation. She's obviously demanding more, way more than what she actually got, as she very well should. But narcotics are no joke. Now let's switch to another part of my career where I worked in perioperative. Perioperative is pre-op, before surgery, intra-op, during the procedure, or OR, and then PACU, post, the anesthetic care, the care that comes after the surgery. Narcotics are heavily used in the OR and after the surgery. This is understood. Yet narcotics are not dealt with lightly. You have to count it. You need a witness in order to waste it. You need a witness to count it. And if you are a registry staff, they don't even let registry count with the staff nurses. Narcotics are so heavily monitored, not only in its keeping or in its storing, but also in its administration, that I'm trying to figure out how this newborn baby got such a massive amount of narcotics without the mother being aware. Now, I just want to reiterate the fact that I made a point just a few minutes ago. It doesn't matter if you're 17 years and 11 months. Nothing can be done without your parents' or your guardian's permission. Why was this newborn baby treated in such a sensitive capacity without the awareness of the mother? Now, in this clip that I'll show you guys, the mother seems coherent. She doesn't seem mentally unstable. She doesn't seem mentally ill. It doesn't seem like they would have to bypass the mother's permission. It's not making sense. Let's take a look at this clip and then we're going to move on to my next point.
Not only did her baby start getting burns and rashes, she says the hospital went behind her back and gave the newborn dose after dose of narcotics and other drugs. Drugs, she says, killed her baby.
They failed me, but in all reality, they failed her.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates.
As you can see in that clip, it is discussed that, or conveyed, that the newborn baby did receive a large amount of narcotics and that the mother was not aware. We also saw that the mother did not portray any signs of being mentally ill or unfit to understand what needs to be done to care for her baby. I'm saying all of that to say that sometimes I genuinely do feel like these hospitals know that certain things can be swept under the rug. They know what to say. They know what to write on the report. They know how to document and whatever it is that needs to be said to cover themselves. They are familiar with the legal terms. They are familiar with the loopholes. And that makes me very uncomfortable. I just want to take this time to stress to new mothers to advocate for yourself and your baby. If you want to follow your baby around that hospital to every single procedure that is being done, do it. Too many strange things are happening. Too many strange things are happening without an explanation, and that is outrageous. That is outrageous. Advocate, advocate, advocate. Support yourself, support your newborn. Do your research. Ask as many questions as you possibly can. I don't care how uncomfortable everybody feels. You need to protect yourself. On a slightly brighter note, I do want to thank everybody for going to my website and supporting my brand, supporting my business, buying my comic books, buying my book of poetry, my romance mystery, the merch. All of the above are available on my website at dirtywordsmith.com, and I would love for you guys to continue supporting. And I will do my best to keep up with these consistent NurseCast podcast episodes. Thank you guys so very much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.